Alrighty. Hey guys, figured I'd go ahead and try out another quick little solo commentary video, just growing a sigh. Uh, Figured I'd better try to practice my solo commentary if I want to try to get better at doing videos, I might as well practice, right? So, that's what I'm trying to do here. So, do I want to go to the teleporter cave? Or do I want to go, do I want to just hang out here in desert? Because both definitely have very serious advantages and very serious disadvantages. If I stay here, it's mostly just cacti. So, not very great for satiation or food. Or at least as far as I've seen, they're not. I think they might give a little bit of water whenever you eat cacti, though, so that at least helps out with the whole needing to find water situation. But I don't know. I'll start heading toward Desert Mountain, and then if I see something that I don't really care for, then I will either turn around and go the other way, or try to fight it. And likelihood is, if I try to fight it, I'll end up dead, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Now, I guess, hey. Well, I guess since I am growing a sai, I could kind of, go into a little bit of a unique attribute about this particular dinosaur, in that it doesn't get food poisoning from eating cacti. If you try to eat cacti with any other herbivore in the game, your bias will start to drop, and you will get a very severe penalty to your comfort that will last until your bias goes back to 0 from from being negative. So until it goes back to normal, I guess you could say. But for the sai, that's not a problem. I don't fully know if that's because it was originally meant to be a desert-dwelling dino or what, but it's a nice little touch that, there's at least one dinosaur in the game that can readily eat cacti without having to worry about its insides being all nasty and making it want to puke. So, there's something at least. I know in a lot of videos I'm mainly just playing herbivores, and I will try to mix that up, but for the most part, herbivores are Hi. What's up, guys? Oh, jeez. Oh, that's scary. That's really scary, actually, having two, I think, Megs come up to you like that and just, like, walk by. Oh, that's not where you want to be as a fresh spawn side, man. I don't think there would be a whole lot I could really do to them if they decided they wanted me for lunch. Jeez. I'll save this for later. Hmm. For right now, my plan is to just go solo Psy for a little while because you know, I want to practice being on my own. Normally, if you go on a Psy, if you're playing with friends, you go, join their herd or whatever. Um, or even if you're just playing normally, you would try to find a herd. But Psy, I think, is one of the, um, well, I say one of the few dinos, but any dino can kind of be a solo dino if you're hard-headed enough to if you're hard-headed enough to try it. But Cychania is actually one of the dinosaurs in Bob that I think you could actually pretty easily get away with going solo for a while. Cause this thing, once it gets to I don't know 1.0, let's say, it is actually kind of a threat to predators. Mainly because of the fact that it's. One sec, guys, sorry. Okay, sorry about that. Anyway, yeah. Size, once they get to full size, or, well, not full size, once they reach 1.0 and even 1.2, they become quite good at fending for themselves. And especially Um, if you're in a herd with a bunch of other people, having a Psy in that herd with you can be extremely helpful. Because a 1.0 Psy, I believe, if you have, if you get yourself fat like I'm doing right now, um, their health is absolutely massive. Like, once they get bigger. Um, Like, let's actually look. Right now, I am only 0.46, and I already have 1,000 health from being overweight. So, yeah, that's that is that is how ridiculous this thing gets, just from being a fresh spawn. Now, until you actually reach um, 1.0 or 1.2, you are actually pretty vulnerable to a lot of different things. Megs, definitely acros. Like, if you see a pack of acros as a side, just run. Either that or get back to your herd, because that is your best chance of survival as a young Psy against a group of acros. Um, Rexes, they're big boys. They could potentially really mess you up if you're not prepared to fight them. Um, I mean, as a fresh spawn, everything is kind of a threat to you at the very beginning. So just being cautious is generally a good strategy. Um, but other than that, size kind of a fun thing to grow if you're looking to get into fights, or if you just kind of want to have a dinosaur that's sort of a I don't really know how to specifically explain it, but like if you get a Psy big enough, then there are going to be a lot of dinosaurs who just generally won't mess with you unless they know for a fact that they have either a big enough pack or, um, they have a good enough strategy or they're just generally good enough at the game to take you out. Um, as for the general strategy, like just generally playing a Psy, I would say um, that their tail is their main weapon. So when you're in a fight, always, always, always try to make sure that you're not facing your opponent head on and that they're going towards your tail. Because if you don't have them constantly like facing your tail, then they're potentially going to be able to just run through you and get a bite off and then just turn and move away before you can hit them. And they can just keep on doing that until you eventually run out of health. As for, well, then again, I guess another strategy you could actually do is facing your opponent head on and then trying to bait them to run through you at the side, pressing C or pressing your crouch button, turning so that way your tail is facing the direction that they're going to be running in when they run through you, and then smacking them on the way, like smacking them in the legs as they pass through you, and then try to get away from you. That could also be a pretty strong strategy, I guess. I'm saying this as somebody who doesn't have a whole lot of combat experience on the whole. Oh, hey! Hey, cool! We found another desert sign. Ooh. Okay. Okay. I guess he doesn't want to be messed with. All right. We'll leave him alone. Okay. That's cool though that I actually got to see another Psy on desert. That's kind of a rarity for me. So that's cool. Um, yeah, I don't actually have all that much legitimate combat experience in this game, so um, I would say just generally practice. See if you can find a couple of people to 1v1 and just see you know see what works is the best advice I can really give. Just if you can find a couple of people that would be willing to 1v1 you um, you know, or like possibly try to teach you how to fight or something like that, then go for that. Or, if you're just generally walking around and something starts trying to mess with you, don't panic and don't panic and just immediately try to run. But like stand your ground and see if you can fight them off. Because even even like a point 0.6 or a point 0.8 psi can be kind of difficult for any carnivore to handle. Well, I mean, maybe not an acro, because acros are a special case. Acros are kind of a special case when it comes to anything because of their ability, but you know that just kind of comes with the territory of being on a server where there is potentially a bunch of really big acros. Um, but like if you see a couple of megs coming towards you, like stand your ground, thread call them, and see if you can actually fight them off. Because if you can get them injured enough and they, start walking away to heal, that gives you some time to put some distance between you and them. Mind you, it might not be a whole lot of distance because size are slow, but it'll give you some breathing room to think about your next move. Or if you're in a herd, you fight the Megs or whatever they are, cripple them, and then you have your paras or whatever else you're with that might be fast. Packies can be good for that if you, well, I mean Packies kind of need the right terrain for it, but Packies are generally pretty quick and they can do some good injury damage if they're on a slope. Paras are pretty good for chasing things down and stopping them from healing if they just got done with a fight, if they just got done fighting a Psy. Um, what else? What else? Oris, actually. If you have a couple of Oris in your herd and they, and you just need something to, like, really quickly distract whatever it is that's hunting you. And Ori can just run up, throw some sand in that carnivore's eyes, and then that gives you a chance to, run up and smack him. Just, just some things to consider with that. Herding with a Psy is fun. It can be a very fun experience to be able to, like, be in a herd with, like, a Psy and maybe a couple of Appas. Because Psys can actually do some pretty, like, they can do some damage once they get big. Especially with their ability. Because their ability, their spiky shield, anything that hits you during that, its damage gets reflected back on it, which is great. Right now I'm just headed towards Psy Island, which I actually completely forgot existed, because I don't really go there on many other Irbies, but for a Psy, it's actually a really nice place to hang out, because it's got a decent water source, it's got plenty of ferns and things that Psys are able to eat no problem, and it's just generally a really nice place to be if you're, if you're a growing Psy just trying to, um, just trying to get big so that way you don't have to worry about predators. Yeah. I guess something else I could talk about is the fact that I am actually planning on making a kind of tutorial series for Bob. Because as it stands, the game doesn't really have a great tutorial as is. I mean, it works, it serves its purpose just fine, it's a little bit bare bones, and I feel like generally there could be a much better alternative to that, to just having it be, a text box and some images just as an example of the general mechanics of the game. And so, um, in the relatively near future, I plan on starting a tutorial series for this game that will go over everything that a new player might want to know. Basic mechanics, the talent tree, all the different various stats that you'll see whenever you go into your character screen, breeding, inherits, all of that I plan on covering in my little tutorial series. So if that's something you're interested in, go ahead and let me know. Like, comment down below some things that you see new players struggling with, and I can work those into the tutorial as well. Sorry. But yeah, this game is, it's one that I really enjoy, and I want other people who are coming in completely new to the game and having no idea what's going on. I want them to be able to have something to, to use as kind of a guide. And I say that, and I don't want to make anybody think that you can't just ask people around you for help if you aren't sure about something when you're first starting off, or if you just need clarification on something. The community in this game is amazing. I don't know that I've really met anybody who's just been outright, like, completely against answering any questions that I had whenever I was starting out. And even now, after having the game for about a year, I think it's been about a year now, actually, yeah. Um, Even now, there are still people who, are totally, like, there are still times whenever I don't have a lot of information about something, and I just, like, ask somebody in the voice chat or something like that, and they're totally happy to answer whatever questions I've got. And even provide, like, some information of their own, like some tips and tricks on, how you want to work, how you want to place your talents for certain dinos, or, just little things like that. Like, the community, or, like, that this game has is absolutely wonderful. A lot of great people, a lot of very, just a lot of very, I can't think of the word. I legitimately can't think of the word that I'm trying to use here, and it's bothering me. um, Very supportive groups that you can find. That was it. Because, as somebody who's new, or, who's, I guess, relatively new to the Beast of Bermuda video scene, I I want there to be something that, people can look at if they're just unsure of something, or, whatever else. But I want to be able to help out the community that's, helped me quite a lot throughout my time with this game. And I think the best way to do that is to be able to lend a hand to the new players who might not know exactly what's going on when they're first starting out. So, yeah. I think if I get the chance tonight, I may also post some shenanigans that I might get into later with the forest or with the herd forest that I'm grouped with right now, or on one of my paras. So I guess look out for that later. I guess depending on when you see this, it may already be up, or but yeah. I guess either look forward to that, or if you're interested, you can also check that out if you want. And it's high tide. Great. Do I want to risk that is the question. Because, I mean, there might not be any morsels, but at the same time, I don't want to potentially risk this thing. I mean, I'm only, what, 0.559, that's not that much growth that I would really have to make up. Hey, you know what, let's go for it. It's not really that big of a loss if this thing dies anyways, so... Nice. And into Cruiser you go. Oh yeah, that's another thing I should probably mention. Generally, if you're going to go Psy, my recommendation would be try to go through your combat tree all the way down to Bruiser. So, Persistence, Healing, Constitution, Bruiser, and then Brawler. Prioritizing Bruiser first, if you can, to get that to 3 out of 3, and then going for Brawler. So, just whenever you're putting your points in, um, get down to, like, like I have here. So, I've gotten 2 out of 3 down to Bruiser, and then my next point is going to be going to Brawler to get that to 2 out of 3. And then after that point, my general advice would probably be to, well, I guess, I'm not really sure, because I, I kind of have the mindset of once you have, a certain build, or a certain section of your trees maxed out, or section of your talent tree maxed out that you want, my suggestion would be to save up your points until you know exactly what you want to spend them on. That way you don't potentially waste them. It's not exactly a hard and fast rule, and if you just want to go ahead and say go for something like thick hide, after you get done or while you're starting to work on building up your combat tree, I mean, you can go for that for sure. That's entirely up to you. But I would recommend waiting on that until you're bigger, because the way thick hide works is that generally it reduces damage from things that are smaller than you. So, while, yeah, it will, or I guess I should say it can help whenever you're smaller, it's definitely a lot more beneficial for you to wait on getting that until you're actually big enough to see some legitimate benefit out of it, instead of just putting the points in early and then not having anything in Bruiser or Brawler later. Is that the cave? Yeah, it's just the cave, okay. Sorry. Couldn't tell if that was the crystals in the cave or if that was a Meg or something like that coming down to take a bite out of my face. Oh yeah, but also, fair warning if you're going to be coming to Psy Island to hang out, this place isn't just populated by Psys. There are plenty of other dinos that can potentially be around here. Like, Megs usually, I mean, from what I've heard, Megs just generally like caves. So if you're going to be coming up here and wanting to just chill in the cave, just be aware that you might not be the only one looking at that real estate. There might be a couple of neighbors who probably won't be too happy about somebody new moving in. So just be careful whenever you're coming up here. I think I actually hear flies on the door right now, which is already a great sign for the potential for something nasty to be on this island. Sorry if I look like an idiot here, I just kind of can't really see what's going on. So my apologies for that. not. Lucky break. And shelter. Nice. And grab some crystals for buys. Those are always nice. I don't know. Just a random little song. Okay, yes, I'm doing Brawler next. So wait, what is my... Oh wow, I already have basically full Wyatts right now. Yeah, that's actually really nice. So I guess I should go ahead and ask the question. If any of you guys are returning viewers from previous videos, what do you think of all the stuff I've posted so far? Actually, I'd be curious to know what you guys think of the stuff that I'm putting out there. I guess, and what you guys would actually like to see too. Because I know a lot of the things that I've posted are just kind of me just hanging out with friends, and that's great. But I also kind of want to try to do more of just sort of me growing a dino, kind of like this, and just hanging out with you guys. What did I get? Wow. Sneaky and strong legs. Okay. Sure, thanks. Really helpful game. Thank you so much for those. Pretty sure this cave ends somewhere up here. Just hoping I'm not thinking about it. I'm just hoping I'm not thinking of the wrong place, otherwise I'm gonna start dehydrating to death, and that is going to suck. Ugh. Yeah, losing a dino to dehydration is probably one of the worst ways you could lose a dinosaur in this game. It is very unfortunate. I guess I shouldn't be too horribly worried about it. I mean, I do have my crystals if things do start getting bad, but I would rather find water first and then worry about my health. I think, if I remember correctly, blue mushrooms usually point the way out of the cave. You still sending me the wrong way here, game. I'm counting on you to lead me to salvation here. And you led me astray. Wonderful. I apologize for me being lost in this cave, guys. I don't really explore a lot of these caves super often, and so whenever I do get into one, it's usually a little bit before I can really find my way out. Sorry. Um, this... Yeah, this looks like a pathway. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Yeah, I think if I am correct about this, this should lead me outside. And once I'm outside, I should be able to get to the island, or to get to the water source at the top of the island without any trouble. Yes, there we go. There's daylight. Awesome. There we go. Just took a little bit of trial and error. Hmm. Okay, that was just me then. I guess that was... Oh god, okay. Now we gotta hustle. Hmm. Okay, still looking fairly alright on health, which is a little bit surprising, but not unwelcome. Certainly not unwelcome. Okay. Now, all I should have to do is to get up here, get up to the water, and inhale the water source.